Hello, everyone. It is, well, technically Halloween now, but it's like 2 in the morning, something like that. Anyway, it's really late, and it's time to read Neckbeard stories. You know, as you do. So this is Big Neckbeard Dick Energy, or How My Depression Led Me to Date the Worst Person Ever. Posted by the real Robert Stack. Except no imitations. I thought I deleted the file that I used to draft my post on the now-defunct Neckbeard Stories sub, but today I found out that that wasn't the case, so I thought I'd repost it here. Oh, fucking thank you. I met Greg through OkCupid. I messaged him first. I hadn't had much luck with the service, and I was nerdy, fat woman of color in a city that was mostly white. The few dates I went on ranged from extremely bad to disappointing. There's a stereotype that fat women are easy because they're desperate because no one will date them, and the dates I went on truly believed that. Unfortunately for them, I wasn't just fat, I was also socially awkward in the middle of an episode of depression. Ouch. Sex wasn't something I had easy. I shouldn't have been dating at all, but my mental health was horrible, so bad decisions were constantly made. When I messaged Greg, part of me was hopeful that this time this would be different. I was being proactive, and after a few phone calls on our first date, it was pretty clear that he checked off the same boxes as the previous guys and also exceeded them. I can confidently say he was the worst person I have ever dated. Should have ended things after the first date, but I thought I didn't deserve better. Depression is a motherfucker. Yeah. Oh yeah. I dated Greg for about 2 months. Since this was a few years ago, some of the details are fuzzy, but here's some of the biggest standouts from my time with him. He was a gatekeeper, a huge gatekeeper, for all of his interests. All television shows and movies that had any sort of romance, no matter how small, were absolute garbage. That is why he only watched Top Gear and QI. Those two shows were the height of intellectual entertainment, according to him. One of his hobbies was fixing old watches. First time I visited his house, he wanted me to watch him do this. That's fine for the first half hour. One of my favorite shows is How Do They Do It? And it was like a real-life version. After the third hour had passed, I hinted that we should go do something else. He had a total meltdown because I wasn't being supportive. He was the classic definition of someone who is, I am very smart. He was the smartest man on the planet, but no one recognized it. He once told me his plans for building a mechanical muscle. The reason he hadn't built it was because it would have to be as big as a room to work. No one else would be able to build it correctly. That's how I know Boston Dynamics is using magic for their robots. He was also big about debating with, quote, logic without emotion, unquote. Which meant him getting angry about me having any opinion or stating a fact that he didn't agree with, saying I brought emotion into it. He would hang up on me and then call back asking if I could discuss things in a logical manner. One of the times he did this is when I told him that saying homosexuality is gross is an opinion and not a fact. He sounds like a prick already. Referred to kissing as smooching and women as gals. I don't remember the rest, but there were some other words that he used that struck me as very weird to hear a man in his almost 30s use. What is he, Christian? Though he did have decent hygiene, he lived like he was on an episode of Hoarders. Oh, he might actually be Christian. Absolutely fucking disgusting house with a bird that crapped everywhere. No sign of cleaning supplies to be found. Huge holes in the wall. Old fast food wrappers full of grimy junk he found. I only visited his place twice. First time I spent the night, I didn't sleep because I was so stressed out about how dirty it was. After I left, I made an excuse to keep from going back. After he gave me a huge guilt trip, I made my last visit. Seeing the same food containers we ate from a month earlier sitting right where he left them, I had an epic panic attack that led to us breaking up. Ugh. Oh, God. On here I thought this episode wouldn't be scary. He had several external terabyte hard drives of nothing but porn. Oh, and it got creepier. I questioned why he needed to store up so much porn. I'm not against porn, I just didn't understand why he needed so much of it. He said it was easy to access his favorite scenes. Recently it hit me that the real answer was more likely that it wasn't quite legal stuff because he was weird about sex. He told me that he had anal sex with an ex by pouring cooking oil over her head while she was cooking on the stove and putting it in her butt. I don't know how that worked, but I guess points for trying to lubricate. What the fuck? What? While we're on the topic, I did sleep with Greg 3 times. He bragged about having a huge dick. Surprisingly, he was truthful. But having a big dick means nothing if you have no clue what to do with it. I should have known after the anal sex discussion what I was in for. Greg only knew how to do 2 things: jackhammer or spread starfish, while I did all the work on top. He did attempt to do foreplay by doing helicopter dick before getting into bed. A grown man wearing nothing but an oversized t-shirt, shaking his dick to turn a gal on. I am not making this up because I am not that creative. Holy shit. That's really funny. The relationship ended after I relented to his guilt trip and agreed to visit his trash house again. This is after I had worked a few 80-plus hour weeks and was exhausted. He didn't want to come pick me up, knowing that I didn't have a car at the time because he hated driving in the city that I lived in. I spent 45 minutes on a bus only to be greeted with him sulking about the bus being late. We get back to his house, and though in the car he said he had straightened up, trash house was still fucking filthy as ever, and I lost it. I had one of the most meltiest of meltdowns. I told him how disgusting his house was and how he should be ashamed of himself. He broke up with me for being too emotional and drove me home. But wait, there's more! Still having the self-esteem of his house as if it was a person, I kept talking to him over the phone as we agreed to be just friends. He also brought up that he'd be willing to see if we could date again, if I could get a handle on my emotions. Oh, be still my heart. After 2 weeks of the same old shit, I was done. The last time I talked to him, he called at 11. This is after I had texted him that I was too tired to talk and had to be up early for work. He calls anyway because he was upset that a cop had yelled at him for helping while the officer was investigating a theft. He goes on a rant about how unappreciative and rude the world is, and he's the only polite person left. I responded that he was lucky that he didn't get arrested because he was interfering with an officer on duty on a crime scene. He says I'm just like everyone else and rants some more about we somehow get on the topic of The Simpsons. I tell him I stopped watching it regularly in the early 2000s for the first 10 seasons. He called me juvenile and hangs up. In that moment, I realized I needed to get help for my depression because it finally hit rock bottom. This dude was absolute fucking trash, just like a house. I didn't wait for him to call back. I dialed his number when he picked up. I was about to say we shouldn't be friends anymore, but all I could manage to do is laugh. He called me a bitch and hung up. He followed soon after with an email saying never to contact him again. I don't know whatever happened to him other than seeing his OkCupid profile a year or two later saying that he thought his future partner wouldn't be able to speak English and he was ready to meet her now that his mom was dead. Ugh. That's creepy. Okay. I don't... Wow. First off, I'm glad that this person is out of that horrible relationship. But secondly, oh God, hoarders. I have been around far too many hoarders. It is one of the reasons I am absolutely so much against hoarding. It is one of the reasons I try my fucking damnedest to make everything organized wherever I am. I don't have a lot of luck, because I end up trying to organize everybody else's shit, but at least I'm trying. It ain't easy, but I'm getting there. So, yeah. Yeah, I've been in Neckbeard trash houses, and you only need to see that shit like twice. Once or twice, and you're just like, what the fuck? So, yeah, that, okay, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and also have a Patreon if you'd like to donate to that. That'd be really cool. And I love you all. And goodbye.